Hello, welcome to Soul Strategic Playthroughs. My name is Jeff, and I am going to be continuing my Gloomhaven 2nd Edition campaign. It rolls on with episode number 9, tracking the adventures of the Gloomaniacs, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot. When last we left off, they were running an errand for Jexera of the Merchant Guild. They had gone out of town to the diamond mine to get her diamond, helping evil, but they also defeated evil. They took out our taskmaster, so maybe in the balance it all works out. But the crew has come back to Gloomhaven, and so let's take a look at advancements. First up, just taking a look at the campaign tracker, just some updates. Of course, I've completed 8 scenarios, so I've got 8 inspiration. During my road event last session, I was able to improve my standing with the city guard, so that's up to 6. The merchants are up to 5. City Guard being up to 6 means I am probably going to go ahead and do scenario 10 today. Well, not probably, that is my choice. Even though I do have working on finding the cure for the Tinkerer, I'm ready to do that quest. This something new to 2nd edition with the 3 different factions. Something I want to explore, see what happens when I get to check off that box on the campaign sheet. So that's what we'll be doing for that. You can see I've already gone ahead and donated to the Great Oak. So we're now up to 21 ticks there. Another bump on the prosperity track. Still in prosperity level 2, but we're slowly but surely getting our way there. The city event, which came up, again, without going into details, not to spoil anything, I had a couple choices. One that I was pretty sure would probably hurt my reputation. Did not want to take that chance, and ended up getting 3 gold for each of my characters. So not a lot, but a little something. That said, let's take a look at the individual characters. Not a lot going on this time for Yakko, the Enoch's Bruiser. I did decide to just go ahead and sell off the shield. I really like the mace, getting in that extra attack. I'm fine. I don't need the little bit of extra defense. So just so I can see an accurate accounting of my gold, I'm going to sell this off. It does bump me up to 53. It leaves a lot of options, but I think what I want the most if I'm going to get another enhancement is being able to increase an attack value. And that's expensive, so I'm going to hold on to my gold. For the Quattro Tinker Wakko, I did pick up a perk, so I'm going to go ahead and sub out a 0 for a +1 bleed. He's got 44 gold. In his case, again, I'm going to hang on to it. What I want to do most with him in a support role is to be able to add Strengthen to one of his heal spells. I think that would give me the most bang for my buck, but that is an expensive buck, so we're not going to be doing that anytime soon. Finally, the Vermling Mindthief Dot. She doesn't have a lot of gold, but she also did pick up a perk. For her, we're going to throw in a +2 Generate Frost. So a lot of choices for which scenario to do, but now that I'm up to 6 reputation with the City Guard, I'd like an opportunity to see what that unlocks. Again, something new in 2nd edition are these milestones, which not only give you benefits, but you get to read something and maybe advance the story, I assume. So we'll see what happens. All a mystery to me. Eager to find out. So we'll go ahead and investigate concerns and reports of a dragon. And while sometimes road events are helpful and sometimes they are not. This was not. It was no good choices on this one. The end result was my characters are injured. My non-armored characters, so that's going to be Wakko and Dot, the Tinkerer and Mindthief, they both took a damage and are bleeding. And all 3 characters are going to have to discard 2 cards at the scenario. That's not that big a deal. It just means I have to accelerate when I take a long rest. Again, my last session, I finished in 10 rounds. I don't think that's going to be the case this time. The map's a little larger, but again, I feel like I've got a groove now. I'm able to deal a lot of damage, so not too worried about that. The healing or the damage, the wound, I'll just make sure I can get some healing out on the first turn. So, having done the road event, we have arrived at the mountain pass. So the goal of the scenario, pretty straightforward. I just have to kill all the enemies. One note, this tile should be pushed up a little bit. Don't have room right now, but as we get closer, I'll reconfigure the map, make room for everything. No negative scenario effects, but there is one special rule, which is starting in, I got to double check, in either round 6 or 7, if I'm in either of these 2 tiles, the first 2 tiles, I will take hazardous terrain damage. So we will have to move with haste to take out these enemies and make our way through. But let's take a look at everyone's battle goals and what cards they are leaving behind. First up for Yakko, he's the Tormentor, and this is going to be really easy. He doesn't have a lot of negative conditions he can apply, but he's got some, and I've set things up that I'm just going to finish this in the first round. It should be a piece of cake. I'll have the Tinkerer go first, throw up some poison, and then the Bruiser will be able to throw up a negative effect as well. The one card I really considered, kind of wanted to try and bring to this was Balanced Measure. With the X attack, X movement, because it seems from this map there's a pretty good amount of open space, so being able to do move 4s. Then again, there are a lot of obstacles I'm not sure, so I ended up leaving it out. Knowing that there are 4 traps, I did want to make sure to have plenty of push and pull and give myself a lot of flexibility there. The other thing, with all 3 characters, I'm taking all their loot cards. Money is hard to come by. Was not thrilled with the way I played last scenario in terms of getting so little cash. Yeah, I got an extra 20 for completing it, but looted so few coins. I think 7 coins I looted that game. So that's going to set me back a bit in terms of getting some of these better enhancements. So priority this game is winning, but I'm also going to look to get as much loot as possible. Tinkerer is the optimist. I just have to remove 2 negative conditions. That's going to be pretty easy given that a couple of characters are already bleeding. Bruiser's going to poison himself at some point, so I could, instead of him doing it, I could take it off. This one will not be hard at all. Cards I'm not bringing a lot of the same usual suspects. I've fallen into a routine. My decisions aren't too hard with the Tinkerer. Just a lot of these cards, you could say they don't fit my playstyle. I don't know. Been easy to go. Things like the flamethrower, the bottom just isn't good enough. Like the being able to give shield, not a big deal. You know, early on there were a couple scenarios where, yeah, that made a difference. But it really becomes a move too, and Tinkerer doesn't necessarily have a lot of great movement, so that makes it an easy pull. I thought about including the group stun because I know I'm facing enemies with a lot of health that hit really hard, like these Earth Demons. But again, I've got plenty of healing. I'd be sacrificing movement with the bottom. This time around, Dot is a plebeian. She does not want to take out any named guys. I don't think there are any in this scenario, and she doesn't want to take out elites. That's fine. We can work things out. She'll have plenty of other targets to maim and kill. Again, I'm leaving the rats out. Big board, tougher enemies. Otherwise, you know, I did include, I included her augment that gives +1 damage to beef up her damage output potentially, but also being able to use the bottom to get wounding in, piercing in. These are things that are especially going to be important as we come up against the wind demons. And one other order of business before we get started, these are not the cards I'm using in round 1. These are the cards everybody is discarding because of my road event. So I don't think Frost Generation is going to be so important since I'm going to be using my main Frost consuming card in round 1, and actually not even for the bottom ability. And Bruiser, just want to keep my speed up. I don't see in these first several rounds or in this first go through of the deck using trample, so I'll let that go, make sure that comes back around. I am going to want to hold on to that for the wind demons so I can have the 3 pierce, I think, and the grab and go, so I'm giving up the loot, but I'll just make sure in these first scenarios that the other guys are able to do the loot. Again, I'm going to be leaning on him pretty heavily to deal damage. Don't think I'll be in a position early on to not be attacking with my top card. Now, as to the cards I actually am bringing and playing for round 1, for the Bruiser, I believe this is the first time in 9 games that I have put Warding Strength in my deck. You know, it's not a lot of attack, but these are enemies that hit very hard, so being able to disarm them, I think, will come in handy. It's a pretty decent initiative value, and also with my battle goal, this is a condition I can apply. So first I'll poison, and then I'll disarm, and I'll have achieved my battle goal. So that's for that. Also, I don't know that I'll actually be moving him. My plan is to be able to use the pull to draw the elite to me. What I want to do on the first round is hopefully go fast enough to get the to deal with the Earth demons and not be in range of the archers all the way in the back, the Inox archers. Of course, if they have move and attack, it may be unavoidable, but we'll see how things go. With the Tinkerer, he's going to be able to throw a heal on the Mindthief, get rid of that wound, and also a poison on the elite guy. So again, he's got 20 health, so the poison early on will definitely help speed up taking him down. Finally, for Dot, with being able to maneuver enemies around, she should be able to get in a couple attacks. I'm hopefully looking at a situation where I've got 3 conditions on the big guy, so setting her up to do a 5 attack, and it'll have advantage in this first round thanks to the Bruiser's Fearless Leadership perk. And presto, one quick change I've made is I switched these two, because if I am going to be able to attack without moving, I want to make sure that I am next to my target. All right, we've got everyone queued up in X-Haven. One thing I did notice setting up X-Haven is that there are actually 3 Inox archers, not 2. So I put the other one on the map. I just misread that when I was setting up. So maybe I should have brought Trample, but I can always get there. I have multiple means of getting Trample back if a situation arises, and I feel like that's the way to go. All right, let's see what the enemies are doing and when they're going. Earth Demon, Strong Growth. So they're not even attacking. I was all queued up and not even going to help that much. Meanwhile, Inox Archer's a power shot. Well, good that I'm not moving towards them. They are attacking Fort range 5, and I am range 6 away from them. Wakko the Tinkerer will kick things off. I've got 2 movement. I am certainly not going to move because doing so would put me within range of 2 of the archers, or at least one of them. Either way, not moving. I will, however, still use the heal, healing the Mindthief for 1, so that'll put her up to 9. That'll get rid of her wound, and just like that, halfway towards dealing with the battle goal. He will, however, take a damage, so maybe he'll have to heal himself next round. That's fine. He'll get himself right back up, so he's wounded. He's down to 10. Now he can do a 2 attack, and poison, and yes, he is within range 3 of the elite, so we will go ahead and attack him. So there's the Fearless Leadership I've popped up to show you from the perk, from the Bruiser. So this attack is advantage, base 2, either a miss or a -1. So at least we got 1 damage in. And that attack will generate Earth, which is problematic because the Earth Demon will get to use them. They're going to be able to immobilize everyone within 2. Oh well, it won't affect the Mindthief because she's not planning on moving anyway, and then it'll clear. I don't know how much I was going to move the others anyway, so I still think it's worth it getting the poison on, getting that going. Bruiser's up next, and he's got 2 movement from Provoking Roar. He's not going to use it. He's just going to use the pull effect, bring this guy down so that he's in range of melee attack of both him and the Mindthief. Of course, this does mean that he's going to consume the Earth. He'll lock them in place. That's fine. He'll go ahead and do the 2 attack. It doesn't matter that he's disarming him, and that condition, unfortunately, is not even going to stick around for the Mindthief to benefit. Alas. But this will be a 2 attack plus 1 of the poison, makes it a 3, and again, Fearless Leadership at advantage. So it's either going to be a 0 or +1, 4 damage. We've got him down to 15. Earth Demons are up on 40, and you can see he's going to heal himself, which will get rid of the poison, and fortunately not give him any health back, so that's good. And then he will consume the Earth to go ahead and immobilize all 3 characters, but the immobilize will clear for the Mindthief at the end of her turn. Speaking of Dot, she's up, and I'm actually not going to get hurt as bad as I thought, because she can reapply the poison with her poison dagger. She can apply the wound, which will not be healed. So yeah, her first attack is just going to be the 1 attack with wound. So only unfortunate that she has to use up her advantage as the first attack, so she'll have advantage on this attack. I'd rather have it on the second one, but still worth it getting the conditions on, so we'll go ahead, either a 0 or a miss. So glad to see that cleared, and now we know the next attack will certainly hit, so just 1 damage. Now Dot will go ahead and do the Submissive Affliction attack, which is base 2. There are 2 conditions on the enemy, so that bumps it up to 4. The poison bumps it up to 5. Straight up attack, another 0, but still 5 damage. You can see that the archers are up next, finishing out the round. Power shot, not moving, range 5 attack. And as you can see, they are not in range. So that is fortunate, and that is the end of round 1. And then one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Tinkerer's Alchemical Duplication to allow Dot to use his stamina potion so that she can get back her mind's weakness so that she can do another double attack against the big guy. Obviously, technically, that should be during Dot's turn, but nothing happened after her turn. Just the enemy stood there and couldn't shoot anything. For round 2, the Tinkerer and the Bruiser are not going anywhere. They're still immobilized, so they'll have to deal with that. Well, nobody's going anywhere anyway, as the Mindthief is going to be doing a double attack. The Bruiser is going to be able to at least throw up his shield in case an enemy comes in, and can also, he'll take the targets anyway. He's going to be fast initiative. And then for the Tinkerer, going to be able to do some buffing and heal herself. I'm going to have her go on 23 instead of 18, just in case somebody slips in and deals a little bit more damage. It is round 6 where we would start to take damage, so we have not made any progress towards getting out of here before that happens, but I imagine next turn we'll be dashing forward. And taking a look at the enemies, we are going to have Inox Archers attacking 2 targets in range 4, and again, not moving, so they're not going to hit anybody. Earth Demon, Reckless Charge, Consuming Wind. Good thing I don't have any of that. And yeah, going on 79. That's more what I expected. All right, so the Elite is going to be able... We should be able to take out the Elite before he gets to do that. The normal one, which will come up and attack, is not going to immobilize. We'll kick things off with the Bruiser, who is going to throw up his shield since he can't move anywhere, and then he'll use Skewer, just attacking against the Elite. That's going to be a base 3, plus 1 for the poison, is going to be a total of 5 damage, bringing him down to 4. Top the Mindthief will be up next, and well, actually, since the Bruiser did so well, she will use her 4 attack first, which is actually going to be 5 with the poison, so that then hopefully she can use her movement to grab some loot. And you know, I just realized that Dot, the plebeian, does not want to kill elites. Doesn't matter. I'm not really worried about her battle goal because she needs 3 more ticks, and she's going to retire in 2 more sessions. So she's probably not going to get another perk anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead, ignore the battle goal, and go ahead and try and take this guy out with a 0. So that's going to do it 5 damage to the Elite. For the Mind's Weakness, which feels like such a waste now that I got it back, but I did want to make sure I took that guy out, so still feel like it was worthwhile. And at some point, well, very soon actually, she'll need to get another card back so that she's got an even number. But for her movement, she can safely move up 1 and still be out of the range of the archers, who are only range 4 this time. So she will do so, grab some loot, and that's it for her turn. Oh, and on top of that, she will generate Frost, and that's it for her turn. Next up, the Tinkerer, who will take a damage from her wound, or from his wound, down to 9, and then he'll go ahead and heal himself. Everybody else is at full, so... but he is back up to 11, and he has achieved his battle goal of removing 2 conditions, as that also gets rid of his wound. He will then strengthen the Mindthief, let her get a card back, which, as you can see, is going to be the Frozen Shiv, which I figure might as well get her strongest attack back. But since she's strengthened, I think Dot, seeing these enemies just standing around, is going to see if she can't rattle their brains a bit. And one other thing for the Tinkerer, I think just to maximize the odds of my maximizing the Mindthief's Carnage, I'm going to go ahead and use the Element Potion to generate Earth. I can safely do so, knowing that the Earth Demons are not planning on using that this turn. They're actually looking for Wind. Well, to say they're looking for Wind might not be stating it the right way. Wind would, of course, minimize their attack, but the Bruiser's ready to take some hits. He's got a shield up, so it is just going to be a Reckless Charge, a move 3, and attack 3. And of course, the Inox Archers, as we said, they cannot reach, and they're not moving, so they're done. for this guy, he will move 1, 2, top to bottom, left, right, and go ahead and attack the Bruiser, who does have 1 shield. So here's a 3 attack, and it's going to be a -1, which is going to be 2, then 1 from the shield, and armor will knock it down to 0. It's going to do it for round 2, and now it's time to see if the Mindthief can't make some more heads explode. I have to say, when the Mindthief retires, I'm going to miss this combo. But I'm going to make the most of it right now, as she is going to be able to, going very fast on 5, move up, get in range of that clump of Inox archers, and hopefully blow them up. She does have advantage, as she is blessed from last round, so should be pretty effective, and it probably will not kill the other 2, which means I actually will get to throw a couple curses out there. For the Bruiser, he's going to get some damage in on the big guy, who's got 13 health, and position himself closer so he can rush in and do lots of damage next turn. And then I think with the Tinkerer has a stun up, so I can kind of be flexible and see where I need to use that, as well as plenty of movement, so I can start moving towards getting out of his chamber before it starts to collapse and do damage, or whatever bad thing is going to happen in round 6. I don't want to be around to find out. All right, there's our initiative values, and you can see we've got the Mindthief strengthened, and we just need to see what the archers and the demons are doing. Hey, look at that. The archers are finally moving. Hasty assault, 2 attack, range 4, so we'll see how that all ends up. They're actually going, well, they might be going after the Mindthief, because they're going pretty quick. And then for the Earth Demon, an Earthen Eruption. Going to be converting something into earth, but there will not be, actually I guess there will be frost around. All right, well, let's get into it and see what happens. So first up, Dot does get to go before everybody else and throw out some major damage. Well, given that she is going to be the target of the attacks no matter where she goes, they have movement to attack range 4. She's not going to be able to avoid it this time. We will have her use her full movement, so she'll go 1, 2, 3, and then she will go ahead and do a cranium overload. We're going to target this guy, but it is not just going to be a base 6 attack. I will consume the earth to use her tremor blade, which will give her a +2 on the first attack, and I will then use the power potion, which will give her a +1 on all 3 attacks. So it's going to be a 9 with advantage versus this guy, and then assuming I kill him, it will then be a 3 attack with advantage versus the other 2. Not to mention, because I use the bottom part of Psychic Blade, and these are considered melee attacks, everyone that doesn't kill an enemy will give it a curse. So here we go. First attack with advantage. This is a 9 attack. A miss, or... okay, a 10. That would have been very unfortunate if I had drawn a -2, which would have been the only way that wouldn't have worked. But that is enough damage to kill him. His head explode, and now I get to do a 3 attack against the other. We'll start with the top one first. Again, still at advantage, and that is going to be +1, so 4 damage. And then to the other guy is going to be +2, and that will be 5 damage. The archers are up next. They will attack Dot for 2 with a wound. So 2 attacks coming in. First one is 4, and the second one is just 2. So that's 6 damage to Dot, bringing her down from 9 to 3. Tinker is up next. I will have Wakko go ahead and stun the big guy so that we don't have to worry about him doing any damage. And then he's got move 4, so we'll get him up in the action. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move over here, get him out of the way so that the Bruiser could potentially occupy that spot. I have to say, I am very tempted to just blitz the archers. So yeah, I'm going to switch things up a bit here. My original plan was to just not even use most of this movement, stick around, attack the big guy, and then set myself up for a straight shot of move 4, attack 4, and just do a whole bunch of damage to those guys next turn and take out the archers. However, the Bruiser's, the best he can do initiative-wise next time is 42. If the archers go faster, Right now, Dot would be the target of at least one of them, and she's down to 3. So I think instead we'll deal with the Earth Demon later, let him eventually catch up to us, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm going to use the boots. So first I'm going to do 3 movement. So that'll get me 1, 2, 3 over here. And then I will use the boots with Juggernaut to move another 3, get me right up in their face. And now I have a 4 attack with the +1 from push through, and now it's just a question of which enemy I want to attack. Given there's not a lot of -1s in my deck, I think I'll go for the Gusto, and I will attack the bigger one. So this is a 4 attack against a 4 enemy, and he's stunned and also quite dead. Finally, the Earth Demon's up, but he's stunned, so he's not going to move 2, he's not going to attack, and he is not going to consume the Frost, which Dot definitely plans on using next turn. So we're into round 4, and I got a couple options for the Bruiser based on what the enemies are drawing. My initial thought was I might just not worry about the big guy. Get ahead of him. He'll catch up to me eventually, but I can snipe him from a distance. Earth Demons tend not to move very fast. Sometimes they don't move at all. I will have to kill him eventually, but no rush. So that's one thought, but then I realized I am set up that I could potentially run up to him, do a move 4, hit him for 4, and then hit him for another 3. So that might be tempting as well, depending on what his action is. What I do know is that the Mindthief is going to be able to either take out the Archer or go for some extra loot. I can, again, decide which attack I want to go, move for either way. And for the Tinkerer, I've got him going very fast so that he can heal up the Mindthief, who's down to 3. I don't want her to get sniped. I don't want her to get killed. And he'll also be able to throw up his shield, which could be helpful. Maybe. I have to double check how that'll work. But what the enemies do is going to factor into my decisions here. Everyone is going as fast as they can this round, which... other than the Tinkerer, is not particularly fast, but let's see what we got. Nothing special for the Inox Archer, so that's fine. They're going on 31, just the one guy left. The Bruiser will get to go before the Earth Demon. Ooh, a 3 attack at ranged 4. Again, though not moving, and there is no Earth to consume for that extra target. So the attack would be at disadvantage if I'm next to him. I'll see how the turn goes for the other 2 and then make my decision. First up, the Tinkerer will go ahead and do a 5 heal on the Mindthief, moving her from 3 back up to 8 and getting rid of the wound. So that problem's taken care of, and now I've got to move 4 with... and I can grant a shield, and this is not a situation of he has to stay adjacent. He's got the shield for the rest of the round. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up here, grab the loot, and give 1 shield to the Bruiser. I really, for Dot, really want to just run up 4 and then do the Pilfer and attack for 2. But if I don't kill him, it's going to be annoying. He's going to move further away from me. He's going to wound, so I will do the responsible thing, and I'll get XP out of it, and I will go ahead and... flip it around and do a move 4, and then since I have the Frost, I'll be able to attack for 4. So let's start with the 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll head up over here, get us closer to getting out of here, and then it's going to be a 2 attack with an optional push 2, a curse that hopefully will not come into play, and we'll burn the Frost to make it an attack 4. That's going to bring Dot up to 3 XP and a 0, so good thing I didn't switch it around. I mean, I would have gotten extra loot out of it, but then I would have had to deal with him. So, but he is off the board, and he drops a coin, and that's going to do it for the Mindthief. Now the Bruiser's up, and much as I would love to run into that room and see what's there, my other characters have already gone this turn, so that's not optimal. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead... and I'm going to start off with a move 4, straight line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, which will then allow me to do a 4 attack versus the big guy, and then I will be able to do a 3 attack. And that first attack, base 4, times 2. Well, that was timely. I was going to say earlier, 4 rounds in, and I had not drawn any of my blesses. So that's 8 damage, and now another 3 attack. Could it be another bless? That would be nice. No, +1, but he is now... That is 12 damage dealt, so he's down to 1. Bruiser does need to short rest, so randomly drawn is pushed through. That's okay. I can lose that. The card I really can't afford to lose right now is Juggernaut, because that's what it's going to take for me to get out of this place before it starts to crumble. With that in a move 4, I'll have move 7 next. Actually, no, that's short 1, and I don't have my boots. All right, so the question is, I can get my boots now if I use my scepter, or I could just get to the doorway and I might take a couple damage. Let me think about it. I don't actually think it's worth using my moon earring right now. That would let me get the boots back. That's the only item I'd get back. And that it's 3 damage that I would take if I don't go through the roll. I still do have ways. I have a move 7 that I could burn if I want to. But 3 damage, I can also prevent 3 damage or a heal by using my amulet and my armor again. So I think best optimization is to wait until I can actually get 3 items back, probably on my next short rest. So I will not use the moon earring, and that's going to do it for the Bruiser. And last but not least is the Earth Demon, who just managed to survive, is going to do... This is going to work out well. The Earth Demon is going to do a 3 attack. It will be at disadvantage. The Bruiser does have a shield that he got from the Tinkerer earlier this round. So let's see how this goes. It's either going to be a 0 or a +1. It'll be a 0. So that's going to be 3 damage reduced to 2 from the shield. I will give him another shield from his armor. So he's only going to take 1 damage. And then he's going to use his mace to fight back. So with the heavy mace, he gets to do a 1 attack. And let's see how that goes. +2, that's 3 damage, which is more than enough. And that guy's dead. The sad thing here is I probably am going to have to leave that loot behind. Alas. But that's going to do it for round 4, and that's going to do it for me tonight, but we'll pick up tomorrow right away for you with round 5. So as we go into round 5, this is my last opportunity to get out of these 2 chambers. So I'm definitely going to have the Mindthief and the Tinkerer move forward. Also, I realized I made a misplay last time. I probably should have held on to the Pilfer. That way I could have used it this round to loot before moving into the room. But I will have to give up that 1 coin. I will not make the same mistake with the Bruiser, as I do have an opportunity to pick that up. Speaking of the Bruiser, the only way I could get out of not taking the damage, since I decided not to get my boots back, is to use my move 7. But I'd have to lose a card to prevent, 3 damage? I can lose a card later on down and probably prevent more than that. So I'm just going to move 6 this turn. I'll get to the doorway. I still will take damage from falling boulders, I guess is what's coming after me. But no enemies to draw yet, so we'll just jump right into it. That's some flexibility here. I could have had the Tinkerer go first and the Mindthief go on 20, but I actually want the Mindthief to go first so that depending on what's in there, I can decide which card I want the Tinkerer to use. Potentially hitting several enemies, locking some down, or maybe not attacking anybody, depending on who's in there. We're going to find out. The Mindthief is going to use the Scurry to do a move 3. We'll just, for now, take 2 steps onto the door and see what's on the other side. So we have walked into what is apparently a trap here in this narrow pass, where a bunch of Inox guards and wind demons are waiting for us. We have a whole bunch of traps in the middle there, which are not going to affect the wind demons. They'll fly right over them. All the way up in the corner, there is a treasure chest. Nothing else in that room. The mechanics here, starting at the end of round 12, and we're currently in round 5, but at the end of round 12 and moving on, again, I'm going to be taking damage from throwing boulders, but only in this tile. So it does sound like if I wanted to, this is kind of safe area to hide out. But we'll see how long it takes to take down these enemies and work our way towards this door, which is our eventual goal. The Mindthief has used 2 of 3 movement, and potentially 2 more, or even 3 more if I want to get crazy and lose my bottom card. But before I continue, let's figure out what the enemies are going to do. So we'll go ahead and click the button to open it up. It's going to tell us to add some Inox guards, some wind demons, and now we can see that the guards are not moving, so that's helpful information. They're just doing a poison attack on 3, so don't have to worry about them coming after us. The wind demons, on the other hand, are definitely coming after us. Moving 4, attack 3 or 4, range 3 with a push 1, and generating wind. And so I took some time to analyze how the wind demons are going to move, since they will get to go after both the Tinker and the Mindthief have gone. Still have that one more movement, so we'll go ahead and move up. I am not going to engage the Inox guards. Certainly no reason to do that. Instead, I will just use a generic 2 movement, give myself one more movement, and go up here in the corner. So that's going to do it for the Mindthief, and now the Wind Demon, or now the Inox guards are up, and they're not doing much, but it is important that they're going now, because what I'm going to do to them next will last through until next turn. And it will be the Tinkerer up next, and of course I've got these 2 ranged attacks. One of the things I realized last game didn't mention is not only did I, by adding an extra hex to Ink Bomb, did I allow the potential of 4 targets, I also greatly increased the layouts of how I can hit 3 targets. Such as this situation, where I've got these 3 in a row. Normally I'd only be able to get 2 of them, but with the extra target, I can now get 3, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to move the Tinkerer just 2 up into here, and then I will fire off an Ink Bomb at all 3 Inox guards. That's going to be 3 XP for the Tinkerer, since we're getting 3 targets. They're all going to be muddled, and I will generate Night, and also because I'm losing a card, I'll go ahead and generate Frost. So now we can go ahead and see how the attack goes. The guards did manage to shield since they went first, so we'll take that into account. So my attack 4 is going to be -1 against the shield, so really an attack 3 in terms of how much damage I'm dealing. We'll go from left to right. First attack is going to be, that is just going to be a 0, so that'll be 3 damage to the first one, and then I get to heal. I'll go ahead and heal Dot from 8 back up to 9. And then the next attack is going to be -1, so 2 damage, and the final one will be +1, 4 damage. It's going to do it for the Tinkerer, and now the Wind Demons are up. And you can see they're going to be doing a Tailwind, so moving 4, and then attacking at either 3 or 4, range 3. With a push, we're against the wall, so the push isn't going to affect us, and it is going to generate wind. The Elite will go first. His target is going to be the Tinkerer, since he's actually equidistant from the Mindthief and the Tinkerer, but again, the Mindthief has her perk, so target will be the Tinkerer. 1, 2, 3. That gets him in range 3, and then we'll go ahead and do the attack. And that will be a 4 attack. -1, 3 damage to the Tinkerer. He goes from 11 to 8. Next up, this guy will move down 1, 2, 3, and he, despite the tiebreaker, he's closer to the Tinkerer, or he's closer to the Mindthief, so he will target the Mindthief, and that's kind of why I moved them where they were, so that they each take 1 attack. Again, this one, a little bit less, is going to be a base 3 attack, and it's a miss, so nice to see a curse come up. That is going to do it for the enemies, and we'll finish things off with the Bruiser. First thing I'm going to do for the Bruiser is that which I forgot to do last game, is I'm going to go ahead and patch armor. I guess I don't really need to, but I want the coin, so I get a loot 1. I do get my armor back, and now I can go ahead and start off with a move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then with Juggernaut, a move 2, attack 3. Obviously no attack, but it gets me a little bit closer. Now, I have to say, I strongly consider, was very tempted, even though I've only got 2 cards in the discard pile, of doing a short rest to get back my Juggernaut. Because if you look here, we have 5 enemies clumped together. With my boots, with my enhanced trample, I could potentially, and a Juggernaut to give me the 2 movement to get up next to them, I could potentially attack all 5 of them. The only problem with that is I would have to do it on, I think, an initiative 34, so no guarantee I'd get to do it. Also, that wind is out there, which I'd like to use instead of the wind demons. I think, if I remember, that maybe that makes them, they have the ability to go invisible. That would suck. So I think I'll just show a little bit of restraint, and maybe I can work things out next turn so that I can go up, use that wind, then I don't need to take the rest. I can be right next to them, and then I can do a trample, and perhaps even in the meantime get the Tinkerer to go ahead and strengthen me. We'll see if we can work all this out. Speaking of which, shocking, I forgot to take a short rest for both the Tinkerer and the Mindthief, so I'm going to do that now. Well, I'll tell you, the universe really does not want me to be looting. I drew the loot card for both characters in the short rest, decided for the Tinkerer, I did not want to lose my loot card, so I took a chance. This is what I lost instead. For the Mindthief, I have too many other good cards to risk, so I let this one go. Yeah, so that's the short rest. Also, I realized reading the rules for this section that the damage is at the end of round 12. I went back and checked. The damage is actually at the end of round 6 from the boulders. So I do actually have time to get the Bruiser out of there. I don't have to worry about taking any of that boulder damage, which would be 3 damage as hazardous terrain at this level. So that said, we can get prepped for round 6. Round 6. I don't know if this round's going to go the way I plan it and lead into the next round. The enemies could go fast. They could mess things up a little bit, although I don't think the wind demons are going to have to move. We'll see how it goes, but I really feel like I'm definitely coming into a synergy. The Gloomaniacs are a well-oiled machine. I'm pretty excited about the abilities I've got and the things I'm going to set up. The Bruiser is going to be able to go up and hit a couple enemies with Pierce. The Mindthief is going to be able to move one of the enemies into a trap, and also, just in case, to have a little bit of crowd control, I gave myself a stun. I think it's worth using a lost card, especially since I'm going to be able to get one back from the Tinkerer, and somebody might be in danger of a cranium overload next turn. We'll see. And of course, also going to be able to strengthen somebody. And I've got the Tinkerer going last, so that whoever he strengthens will be primed for next turn. Got the Mindthief going on 12, the Bruiser on 18, then the Tinkerer. Bruiser does have the tiebreaker. We've got Frost, Night, and Light all up. And let's see when the enemies are going. The Moment of Truth, they're going after me. So once again, a Tailwind from the Wind Demon and a Calculated Strike from the Enoch's Guard. So we can kind of figure out what they're going to do and make sure everyone's exactly where we want them to be. So for the Mindthief, much as I would love to be able to set this up to attack 5 enemies next turn with Trample, I have an opportunity to kill 1, so I'm just going to do it. I mean, depending on how things go, I might kill multiple enemies this round. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use the Submissive Affliction. I don't even need the Frost. I don't even think I'm going to get to consume it, because I am going to target the guy up here. And the reason I'm targeting him is because if I don't take him out, he's just going to move up to and attack the Mindthief. And she doesn't like that. Why get attacked when you can instead mind control and have him walk into a pair of traps? 1, 2... Each one deals 5 damage, so unfortunately, I don't even get to consume the Frost to gain the XP. I'm going to assume that now that he's dead from the movement, I don't get the opportunity, because it's actually, they are technically 2 separate abilities, right? There's a line in between, so I have to do one, and then I have to do the other. So don't get to use the Frost, don't get the XP, but I did kill an enemy. Now, I do not want the Elite, which has plenty of movement, to back away to do its ranged attack. Let it attack at disadvantage. Actually, let it not attack at all, because I just realized I'm also going to be able to prevent it from attacking. So I will go ahead and burn the top of Empathetic Assault to do a 4 attack, again, targeting the Elite Wind Demon, and I do still have my Scouting Lens, so I'll go ahead and use that to give myself Pierce 1. So that will be a 4 attack against 1 shield. +1 rolling, so we're up to 5. My goodness. 7 attack against 1 shield. That's going to knock him from 8 to 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to be killing multiple enemies this round. And I don't even think I'll need it, but I will go ahead and use my stamina potion to get Submissive Affliction back, since I do generate Frost from the other attack, and so we'll potentially be able to do it again next turn, moving another enemy into traps. Alright, so given the effectiveness of that attack, I actually am going to change up what I originally planned just slightly with the Bruiser. First of all, he's going to use his move 2. Instead of going up here and attacking these guys, he can move here. Then what he's going to do is pull this guy 1 step closer. So now I don't have to worry about taking any retaliate damage. I can go ahead and attack those 2 with the skewer, spending the wind to bump myself up to a 4 attack with Pierce 1. First attack against the Wind Demon, who does have 2 shields, 1 shield with the Pierce. That is going... I guess I'm not going to get this XP. I keep killing the enemies. Alright, so that is 8 damage to the Wind Demon. It is dead. And these guys are just maybe a bit overpowered. Let's go ahead and do the attack on the guy behind him. That's going to be a -1, so only 3 damage. That's going to knock him from 11 down to 8. And I had this whole notion of kind of controlling attacks and who could get next to me, and that's kind of out the window. But I can't complain too much. Very effective. I will gain an XP. Actually, the Bruiser's first XP of this round. I need to get working on that, but that is going to be it for his turn. Next up is the Tinkerer, who's in full-on support, and does he really need to be doing anything else, given what these guys are doing? Their damage output. He'll go ahead and strengthen the Bruiser, and the Bruiser is going to get back the Skewer, since there is going to be air again next turn. Maybe? Actually, I guess there isn't. But we'll get the Skewer anyway, another multi-target attack, and then we'll use the bottom of the other card to let the Mindthief, again, not that I'm going to need it, but the Mindthief's going to get Cranium Overload back, and the Tinkerer will gain 3 XP. Now the enemies, such as they are, do get to go. We'll start with the 1 remaining Wind Demon, who is going to move 4, and is not going to be able to attack, and I'm pretty sure since the wind is connected to the attack action, will not be generating wind. And of course, when a monster has no attack but does have movement, he will choose his focus and move as if doing a melee attack. So in this case, he will just come right down here. No attack, but he's positioned himself ready to be attacked. Then we'll finish up with the Inox Guards, who are doing a move 2 and attack 4. This guy's going to go first, so he'll occupy that spot, and then this guy's just going to get as close as he can, which is here. So just 1 attack. It'll be an attack 4 with disadvantage from the muddle, so either a -1 or a 0. That will be a -1, so 3 damage to the Bruiser. And do have my armor back up, so that'll just be 2 damage. Alright, so now we move into round 7, and this round I've got the Bruiser going as fast as he possibly can, so that he's in position, he's set up to attack those 3 enemies, and do a ton of damage, not to mention attacking a guy and pushing him into a trap, so it should be a very effective turn for the Bruiser. The Mindthief's also going to be able to dole out quite a bit of damage and give her a scurry, so she's in a position to run up and grab some loot. Speaking of loot, I am doing so well at this point that I just have some wacky plans for the Tinkerer, which we'll get to on his turn. But first, let's go ahead and see when the enemies are going. So here we are, 10, 19, and 20, and the enemies... wow, okay, so the Wind Demon going really fast. That is going to mess up my plans a bit. We'll see how much. Moving 3, attacking 3. Converting my Frost into Wind. Yeah, just, I don't like that at all. I still should be able to do some pretty good stuff. It's going to be harder to kill a Wind Demon, but not that harder. Yeah, it's got 3 shields, but it's only got 2 health. We'll see how it goes. It is going to get an attack off, and we'll kick things off with the Wind Demon. I guess we should also look at the Inox Guards. I'm hoping they're not going to get to go. I think they'll be long dead by the time we get to 35, but if they do get to go, they're going to be throwing some axes. As I said, unfortunately, with the Wind Demon, he's going to move a little bit away, but he'll still be in my range of attack. He's just going to jump 2 back here so that he can attack his target, the Bruiser, without getting disadvantage. So it'll be a straight up 3 attack. And that is going to be 3 damage. I'll use the armor again, so I take 2, and the Bruiser is down to 11. And he will shield up, and then he will convert this frost into wind. Next up will be the Bruiser, and I think now will be a good time to use both my Scepter and my Power Potion. So with the Scepter, I'm going to poison all 3 enemies, put 3 curses in the deck, which I've already done, and now I will be able to trample and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move threat enemy twice. I still only get to attack him once, but these are going to be base 3 attack, +1 from the Power Potion is 4, +1 from the Poison is 5. So a 5 attack on each of the enemies. I've given the Bruiser his 3 XP for targeting 3 enemies. Again, we'll go in the order I moved through them. So starting with the guy right in front of him. Of course, all of these attacks will be advantage from the strengthen he got last turn from the Tinkerer. First attack is going to be either a 0 or, well, we play this out to its conclusion, so a 0 and a +1. So, sorry, +1. So that is the better of the 2 paths, right? So you draw out all of the modifiers, and that's kind of one stack that you compare against the other. So with that, that is going to be 5 + 1 is 6 damage, which is going to bring him from 8 down to 2. He will retaliate, so I'm going to take 2 damage. That's going to drop me down to 9. So they're starting to make a dent in me. But that was just the first attack. Let's move on to the Wind Demon, who does have 3 shields, but again, a 5 attack incoming. That is going to be either a -1 or a +1. So that's 6 versus 3 shields is 3 damage. That's enough to kill that guy. So he is out of the picture. Next up, we have 1 more attack against the other one. This guy not going to get to retaliate because I'm wearing where I'm ending up. And either a 0 or a +1. +1 is 6 damage, bringing him down to 3. So that was just the bottom card. Now I get to do more attacking. I get to do a 3 attack with 3 push. So if the attack doesn't kill this guy, then the trap behind him will. So let's go ahead and do a 3 attack. Again, still with advantage, still got the bonus from the Power Potion. He's still poisoned, so it's another 5 attack. Either a +1 or a +1 is a +1. That's 6 damage. Don't even need to push him into the trap. He did. So that is going to do it for the Bruiser. He will get 1 more XP, so catching up a bit. Now he's up to 5. Oh, and the Bruiser did poison himself with the Scepter, so he uses his Amulet of Life to heal that. All right, now we're up to the Tinkerer, who can see that Dot and Yakko have everything well in hand. And you know what? Leave no coin behind. So even though they're throwing boulders down there, he's going back. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, pick up that coin. He's going to be taking 3 damage at the end of the round, so let's go ahead. He'll throw a 4-point heal on himself, which is going to bring him up to 11, and I'll just do the boulder damage now. So he is going to go back down to 8. That's going to do it for the Tinkerer. I could run up and attack him with Scurry, have a little bit of extra movement, but there's 2 coins sitting there. She'd love to grab those. And let's clear the trap out, because we can. So I will go ahead and use Submissive Affliction. It doesn't matter that I lost cast the Frost because once again he's going to die. We'll just walk him 1, 2 into the trap. And boy, let me tell you, yeah, that enhancement has been fantastic. Just that extra flexibility, being able to move the guy the extra space. That's twice at least now that I've been able to move somebody 2 into a trap. And last turn I was able to move a guy through 2 traps, doing 10 damage, which is pretty insane. She will then move up with Scurry and go ahead and claim these 2 coins. And that is going to do it for the round. Round 8, and I think we can safely say we've reached what will be the least exciting part of this entire campaign so far. All the enemies are dead. We have quite a bit of traveling to do. The Tinkerer's all the way down here. We've got a chest all the way up here. Some coins to loot. But I have a plan. I've gone ahead, taken this downtime to kind of work out everything for the next 3 turns, so let's run through it. Order doesn't really matter, but we'll have the Mindthief go first, and she's just going to go 1, 2, 3, and pick up that coin. And nothing from the top of her other card. Can't generate Frost without an attack. Not like I would use it anyway. 35, next we'll have the Bruiser go, just so I don't have to show you the rest of the map yet. And the Bruiser is just going to move 2 and collect that coin. So that's it for his turn. And for the Tinkerer, who has a move 4, we will just start getting him in the action. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to do it for round 8. For round 9, we'll kick things off with the Mindthief, who's got 5 movement and, conveniently enough, a jump. I'm going to go ahead and use her Weather Boots to make that 6 movement so that she can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go ahead and loot the chest. And inside the chest, Dot has found unstable explosives, which seems like just exactly the sort of thing you want to give to a crazed vermling who likes to explode people's brains. Now she's got other ways of blowing people up. Yeah, that might be a fun item. Certainly, I think better than the Power Potion, which has its uses, albeit limited. Although I guess I actually could use that in combination with the Power Potion and maybe not bring the Stamina Potion. Interesting. I could also sell it for 15 gold, but nice item. She's picked that up. Now with Dot all the way out here, I thought I was going to be very clever and use her Cloak of Phasing, which says at the end of turn, she gets to teleport back. Unfortunately, just double-checked the FAQ. You resolve all character abilities, which would include this that say end of turn, and then once that's done, then there's some other mandatory stuff, which includes end of turn looting. So I cannot use the Cloak of Phasing. If I use it, I won't get to actually loot the chest. So I am stuck out there on an island, and she's going to have to make her way back. Moving along, the Tinkerer's next, so he's just going to go ahead. And actually, I realized I forgot last turn, the Tinkerer also did have a heal. I just ran right past that. So he's going to heal himself up. He was at 8. He can go back to his max of 12. So he had his movement, and he had the 4 heal. Okay, so now for this turn, just movement. 1, 2, 3. He'll grab that loot. And that's it for him. And then the Bruiser also has 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. He will end up there. And he's out of cards. No problem. He's going to take a long rest next round. Round 10, we'll have Dot go first as she begins her long trek back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for the Tinkerer, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and get the BattleBot into play. It'd be nice if I had a little bit more movement, but that didn't work out. It's fine. I'll just go 1, 2, get myself closer. I will drop the BattleBot down here. That'll give me 3 XP, getting me up to 9, and putting me in a pretty good position where I think I will be able to level up the Tinkerer after this scenario. I might be able to level up the Bruiser. I have a bit of work to do, but still plenty of cards to play. Finally, for the Bruiser, he'll take a long rest. He will gain 2 health back up to 11, get a bunch of items back, and the card I'm choosing to lose for him is Provoking Roar. I want to focus on cards that can give me XP and just my better cards in general. There are no more traps, so don't really need these anymore. Interestingly, looking at the stuff I've got left over, a little bit covered up by me, but there's a lot. There's 8 spaces worth of boulders in this room, so that should be an interesting layout. Round 11, and the excitement continues. The Bruiser not going anywhere. I am going to take this opportunity to get Warding Strength into play. another first. Earlier was the first time I ever used the top part. This will be the first time I ever used the bottom part. Opportunity to get a little bit of extra XP, do some extra damage, some extra shielding, and I get a kill time while my buddies long rest. So we'll do that, and then there's nothing to loot, but I will heal 2, bringing me back up to 13. Then for the other 2, they're both taking a long rest. The bot's not going to go anywhere, since it can only move towards, with no enemies, it could move towards the Tinkerer, but that doesn't do me any good. Already next to him. So those are the cards I'm going to lose, least likely to be used by me going into this final room, as again, I'm just going to try and blow a lot of big cards. Don't know what we're going to find in there, but I'll be able to take it down without too much difficulty, I do imagine. Actually, one quick change, just to make sure I have some movement mobility. I want to keep my move 4, so I'm going to have the Tinkerer get rid of this card instead. Round 12, and it is time to get out of this corridor before they start throwing boulders at us. We're going to go in guns a-blazing. The Mindthief has her move 5. She's going to be going on 5 so that she can be the one to open the door. Then I've got potentially 4 more movement if I use my boots, so should be able to maneuver around. Maybe even get an attack. It depends on what the enemies are doing, whether or not I want to try and get somewhere safe or get right up in their faces. Now, then the battle bot will get to go, and it will get to move, because presumably there's going to be some enemies in there, followed by the Tinkerer, who I've got 2 options. I can either try and lock some enemies down with the net shooter, or if I see one juicy target, I can just go for one big attack. And then finally going on 35 will be the Bruiser, who's also got 2 options where I can see the lay of the land. I can either do a move 7, potentially get up and attack 2 enemies, or do a move 3 with jump, could be a move 4 with the boots, and then I will probably have air generated from the Tinkerer's turn so that I'll be able to do potentially a very effective attack. Not to mention, if I do that combination, I do have the ability to pull, so I can potentially maneuver enemies into a line. But all of that depends on what we find on the other side of that door. So the Mindthief is going to kick things off with her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement, and let's see what's inside. We have walked in through a door to discover Earth Demons and Wind Demons. What a shock. All right, got all my guys up. We'll go ahead and draw and discover that the Wind Demon, boy, they sure do like that tailwind. So there's going to be wind anyway for the Bruiser to use. The Wind Demons are going to generate it. Earth Demons doing nothing special, just moving 2 and attacking 3 or 5, though they are immobilizing. So I'll take a moment to kind of process all that, see where people are going to end up, and decide where I want my guys to end up. I think I've got it worked out. It's really a question of where I want people to be, and I don't want the Mindthief to be in the space she's currently in, because that's where the BattleBot's going to go, and I don't want her to be in the space here, because that's where I want the Bruiser to be, for a couple different reasons. So, but I don't want to waste her attack and an opportunity to get some poison down on the big guy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Weathered Boots to give me 1 more movement. I'm still in the middle of my first action, the Cranium Overload 5 movement. That will allow me to move back here with a 6th point of movement. Now that I've finished the card, I can play items, and I can go ahead and use the Cloak of Phasing. So I will designate the spot I'm in right now. Yes, I'm going to take some boulder damage next turn. That's fine. Again, she's at 9. It's probably the only damage she's going to take from here on out. So what I will do is designate that. I've got jump now. I've got 3 move. So now I actually have options in terms of where I can throw that poison. And actually, I think what I'm going to do, so I've got to move 3, attack 2. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hop up over here, and I'm going to go ahead and attack the Wind Demon. And that's just going to be a 2 attack, but I will use the Poison Dagger to give the Wind Demon poison after the attack, and I'll use my Scouting Lens to reduce shield from 2 to 1. So just a 2 attack. It's a miss, but I did get poison on it at least. Then with the Cloak of Phasing, that is going to teleport me back out here, and that's going to do it for the Mindthief. Next up will be the Tinkerer, which means next up will be the BattleBot, who's got a move 3, attack 3, just going to move 2. And I definitely thought about poisoning. This guy has got 20 health, but it'll be fine. BattleBot is going to go ahead and do an attack. And that is going to be a 3, just 3 damage and a heal, which we'll give to the Bruiser, who's currently at 13. The big guy's down to 17. Now the Tinkerer's turn proper. Move 3, but I'm just going to move 2, because that's as far as I can get. But that's good enough with the Crankbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am just in range of being able to attack the guy back here. So maybe a bit overkill, but I am going to go ahead and use my simple bow to give me advantage on this attack. And it will be an 8 attack against the 2 shields of the Wind Demon. And that is going to be really like those 16-point Crankbow attacks. Yeah, so a ×2 and a +1. We have annihilated this guy. Boy, maybe I should have targeted him. But he's not, I don't mind him attacking this turn. So, all right. That is 3 more experience, getting the Tinkerer up to 12, and that will do it for the Tinkerer. Next up will be the Soul Surviving Wind Demon, who's going to do the Tailwind attack. It's going to be a 4 attack. It's going to target the BattleBot. Push 1, but nowhere to push it. Will also generate wind, so I'll just do that now. And the 4 attack against the BattleBot is going to be 4 damage, so he's down to 3. Next up is the Bruiser, and it actually had been my intention to use his jump ability to go in and attack the Wind Demon. That's why I poisoned it. But actually, I think I am better off. I do actually want to get attacked by the other elemental. So yeah, I probably should have done this a little bit differently. Probably should have had Dot attack the Earth Demon, but what can you do? 1, 2, 3. I'll move there, and then I will go ahead and it's a push, not a pull, which is unfortunate because a pull would be great. I'd be able to attack both of them. I can only get 1. It will be against the Earth Demon. I will use the wind, though, making this a 4 attack. I'll gain an XP, and that will be ×2. 8 damage, bringing that guy down to 9. I'm going to kill these guys too fast. I'm not going to be able to use all my abilities. I'm definitely going to make sure I get their loot, though. Now, the Earth Demons are up, and much as I would like for the Elite to attack the Bruiser, that is not going to be the case. He is going to attack the BattleBot. This is going to be a 4 attack with Immobilize. And, well, ×2 for everybody. We got 3 ×2 and a miss this round. That's 8 damage against the BattleBot, and he is a pile of springs and coils as he has been taken off the board. But you know what? I'd rather he take that damage than one of my guys, so I guess I can't complain too much. It doesn't really matter. These are immobilized. Now, the other one will go move 2 and do a 3 attack against the Bruiser. And that attack will go ahead and trigger Warding Strength, which is going to give him 1 Retaliate and 1 Shield. He'll also get 2 Retaliate from this card. So that's 3 Retaliate coming back with an attack of -1. So 2, and of course he's going to use his armor to only take 1 damage. He's going to hit the guy back for 3, and then for good measure, he's going to use his mace to whack that guy again. And it'll just be a 1 attack. The way things are going, okay, -2, -1. I give him health? No, I just don't do any damage. Last but not least, the Earth Demons will generate Earth, and I did, from Warding Strength, to get an XP, so the Bruiser is up to 7 XP. That's the end of round 12. Unfortunately, 2 of my guys are still outside, so they're each, the Tinkerer and the Mindthief, are both going to take 3 damage. Also, Tinkerer did lose a card. I always forget, but I'll go ahead and generate Frost. Oh, and I also realized the Bruiser actually did not take any damage because Warding Strength also gave him a shield. He had 2 shields versus that 2 damage. Going to round 13, my main goal here really is to just milk as much XP as I can out of this. I'll make sure I pick up all the loot too. That's not going to be a problem. Both the Mindthief and the Tinkerer still have their XP giving loot cards, so we'll plan on using those soon enough, but this round we'll have the Bruiser go first, followed by the Mindthief, and then the Tinkerer. Bruiser get up another XP card, also get in an attack, and maybe we'll push. We'll see how things go. Tinkerer's got a stun up. The Bruiser is about to be need to rest, so we'll let him get his cards back from the Tinkerer. And the Mindthief is also looking to get a bunch of XP and do a bunch of damage. All right, for the enemies this round, we'll go ahead and draw. And Strong Growth, the Earth Demons are just healing. I don't mind them healing. They're going to try and use that Earth to immobilize us. No. The Mindthief is not going to allow that. Meanwhile, a Cutting Blast, a 5 attack. Yeah, we're going to be stunning the Wind Demon, so it doesn't do that. I realize, what am I worried about? The 5 attack doesn't matter. First of all, the Tinker doesn't have line of sight, so not going to be able to stun the Wind Demon. But also, the Bruiser is going to be taking the attack, and he's going to be putting down the bottom of Juggernaut. Bring on the attacks so we can get more XP. Then we'll go ahead and do a 3 attack with potentially 3 push against the Elite Earth Demon. Here we go, just a base 3 attack. We've reshuffled. -1 for 2 damage. And I think I'm not going to push him because as long as that Wind Demon's in the corner, it'd be tough to get in there for melee. So I'll just leave the Earth Demon where he's at. And I will gain an XP for that ability, bringing him up to 8. And that's going to do it for the Bruiser. All right, the Mindthief's up next, and she is going to go 1, 2, 3. Put her over there, and then she will do a 2 attack with stun. And sure, we'll use the Tremor Blade to use up that Earth to make it a 4 attack. 4 attack incoming from the Mindthief, just a 0, so that's 4 damage, bringing the normal Earth Demon down to 6. That's 2 XP for the Mindthief. She'll also generate Frost, and then she'll go ahead and do a 3 attack. And she can actually do this against the Elite if I want to. So, yeah, I don't want to kill him. I'd rather get the curse in the deck. Again, it doesn't really matter, but it'll make me feel better. So I'll go ahead, and this attack will be against the Elite. It's a 3 attack. And I can move him 1, and I can actually move him 2. That's interesting. I'll have to think about that. But he goes from 7 down to 4. That's another XP, bringing her up to 8. Yeah, you know what? This guy is actually getting in the way of getting to the loot. So, and the Mindthief doesn't need to get next to the Wind Demon to attack now that she's got her augment up. So I will just move this guy over here. Actually, why not? I went all the way that long distance to get into that chest, found those explosives. I might as well use them. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 2 attack at range 3 to hit 2 enemies. So I'm going to toss some dynamite over here. And hey, the extra movement actually worked out because now I can attack both of them. So we will start with the attack on the Earth Demon, a 2 attack. Is going to be 2 damage, and then a 3 attack because of the poison, -2. So no damage yet again to the Wind Demon. We will get him down eventually. Now the Tinkerer's up, and I don't even mind if this guy heals, but I can stun him, so I will. We'll go ahead and we'll throw a stun on this guy so that he cannot heal himself. Even though if he did, I'd be able to get in more shots at him, maybe get a little more XP, but at some point, enough is going to have to be enough. So that's that, and then I will use the other abilities. I am going to get clobbered with boulders again. That's okay. We'll go ahead and allow the we'll go ahead and allow the Bruiser to get all the cards back from his discard pile, so that's going to be 4 cards back. Going to keep him going without having to take a long rest, and another 3 XP, which is going to bring the Tinkerer up to 15. Now for the enemies, both the Earth Demons are stunned, so the Wind Demon is going to do its 5 attack. It will be targeting the Bruiser, and that's going to kick off both of these, assuming it takes any damage. Yeah, so a 7 attack, fully absorbed, no damage taken. Also, the Tinkerer lost a card. I do not want to generate wind because the Wind Demon would have used that, so I'll just generate fire. And since we're going back to the Tinkerer's turn, again, not a big deal. I knew everything that was going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and use my Stamina Potion to get the Net Shooter back. All right, a lot of metagame going on as I go into round 14 here, just trying to maximize everything I can do XP-wise. So I'm actually going to have the Bruiser and the Tinkerer go as late as they can. I will have the Mindthief go fast, and I do want the enemies to have a chance to attack the Bruiser. We'll see how it goes. You can see here, going on 16, 87, and 72, we've got Fire and Frost available. The Elementalist sure would like that. And the enemies going on 29, a Whirlwinds from the Wind Demon and a Boulder Throw from the Earth Demon. Ranged attacks. I don't know how I feel about that. But let's go ahead and get into it. Dot's going to kick things off with, she's going to burn her Frozen Shiv. So she'll do a 3 attack, move 3, and a 3 attack. And again, her augment's out, so all of her attacks can be from 2 away. But her first attack is going to be against the guy standing right next to her. Base 3 attack is going to be, Immobilize. So it is not going to be able to get away in the ranged attack. That is very nice. It's also going to take 4 damage, down to 2. So yeah, I don't want her to take an attack from the Earth Demon, so I think I'm just going to try and take him out. That's going to cost the Tinkerer some XP, but the Tinkerer's got 15 XP. He's got plenty. He's doing fine. This will actually get him some loot too, so he really can't complain. So that second 3 attack is going to go against the Elite. And it's going to be a -1 is 2, still good enough. That's going to bring Dot up to 10 XP. Then she'll go ahead and do the Fearsome Blade attack, consuming the Frost. So that'll be 11 XP to do a 4 attack and a curse against the Wind Demon. Of course, the Wind Demon's poisoned, so it'll actually be a 5 attack against 2 shields. I killed it. I did 10 damage and I killed it. Am I upset about that? I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, I don't have to kill the other guy yet. I guess I can hold off a little bit longer. Not what I was expecting, but I'll take it. Next up will be the Earth Demon, who cannot move, so he will attack at disadvantage against the Bruiser, who's right next to him. And it will be a 3 attack. So that is going to be 3 damage, but that's going to get soaked up by, it will trigger both of these, which will give me 2 more XP, retaliate 1, so that's going to knock him down to 1. Thank goodness that retaliate did not kill him. That would have been unfortunate, because that would have cost me some loot. All right, well, that is it for the Earth Demon, and now my guys can go. So the Tinkerer will be up first. Let's get out of this boulder hallway and look at all that loot. A move 2 and a loot 2. So grab a couple coins. Much appreciated. And I'm going to, he's up to 16 XP. I think he's already got his level, so I am not going to even bother with the attack. I do want this to go 1 more round. It's every Gloomaniac for him or herself. The Bruiser's up, and they are all so starved for loot that the Bruiser is not going to pass it up. He has a move 3 with jump, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then he's going to use the other card to loot 1 and heal himself back up to full. And just a quick bit of housekeeping. Dot did need to take a short rest, and she would have lost Cranium Overload, but she wants to do a Cranium Overload to finish things off, so she took a damage and instead will lose Fearsome Blade. Round 15, and the race for XP and loot is on, and Dot is going to win that race because she's going on 5. As for the Earth Demon, we'll see. Going on 87, no chance. You know what? sharing is caring, and Dot does care that she's going to be retiring very soon, and her brothers are not. So she is not going to take all the glory. I'm actually going to have her do the loot 2 first. So she'll go ahead and she'll gain the XP going up to 12, and then she is going to attack, setting up so that somebody else can loot. So she's going to be up to 14 XP now and try and blow up this guy's head. 6 attack on the 1 health Earth Demon is 8 damage and frost. That pretty much does it for anything that matters. There is 1 piece of loot. We were very efficient this game, managed to get all the loot off the board. So the Bruiser will use his move 7 to grab 2 more XP, the last piece of loot, and nothing special from the Tinkerer. We can just end it right there. So what was that I was saying about the city guard not paying? Yeah, nothing. No rewards. I defeated the Inox. They didn't have any belongings of any worth. Some interesting plot developments as I saw a dragon flying up over ahead and had to take cover, and also heard a voice coming from further in the mountains. So open up a couple new scenarios, a couple interesting options. Really the main reason I did this was to see what could happen once I got to 6 rep and am able to read that, which I won't keep you in suspense. Let's find out, even though I guess that's city phase, let's find out what happens with the city guard. Remember what I said about the military not paying? Yeah. No rewards for that. I did unlock a couple of new scenarios, Demonic Rift and Investigation, so all sorts of new options. But let's go ahead and take a look at how our characters did. All right, Yakko, the Inox Bruiser, picked up 22 XP, 15 gold, so he's up to 200 XP, still not quite to level 5. 68 gold, he completed his battle goal, and he just needs 1 more scenario where he poisons himself before he can then do the final scenario for his personal quest. Wakko, the Quattrel Tinkerer, also picked up, well, he picked up 26 XP and also 15 gold. He's up to 215 XP, which means he will be leveling up when we get back to Gloomhaven, and he's now got 44 gold. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I updated his gold, if that should be 59. I'll be able to go back and check the records. He also completed battle goal, just still needs a couple check marks, though, before that can yield any further fruit. And finally, Dot the Mindthief picked up a healthy 24 XP and 9 gold. She's up to 193 XP, 28 gold. Did not complete her battle goal. Doesn't really matter. She's got 1 more scenario before retirement. So hopefully we'll make it a doozy and have a party. Although I might be doing something a little different next session. We shall see. That is going to do it for the Mountain Pass. Tons of new stuff opened up. This really was kind of a breeze. I am going to have to consider bumping the level a little bit more. My damage output with this crew is unbelievable. But that is not going to be a concern for next episode. Next episode, like I said, I have a couple different options I can go. It is going to be a little bit off the beaten path of the main storyline. So should be fun, should be interesting. Other than that, if you made it all the way through the video to this point and you haven't subscribed already, why not? Go ahead, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, it's great when you guys point out the things I did wrong, but feel free to also point out the things you liked or things you want to see me do in future scenarios. I'm happy to engage in the back and forth. That said, as always, until next time, and thanks for watching.